How you become a business owner? When you feel first time that you want to be entrepreneur?
I came back to the US with 24 kilograms of baklava. You like baklava? No allergies? Okay. Do you want to try this? How much you want to pay for it? How much would it like to be? You know, what's the packaging? You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking back.
Sherif, really appreciate your time. I know you're a super busy person and you spent this evening to talk with me about your business and about your professional career.
Oh, thank you so much, Roman. Really appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Let's start with, you originally born in Chicago or you came from other country to Chicago?
So I grew up in Egypt, actually, and I did all my education, or most of my education back there, grew up there, and then moved to New York City first for my residency, and then Chicago for my specialty. So residency was in pediatrics, and my specialty is hematology oncology, which is like blood and cancer in kids. So I did that at Northwestern here back in 2013, and then I have been a faculty since 2016 now, so almost 9 years.
A lot of appreciation, because doctor for me is like there's something like higher than everyone because they save lives, and kids is even higher. Yeah. Thank you so much, really appreciate. Let's talk about your product and how you become a business owner. When you feel first time that you want to be entrepreneur?
You know, if I really would go back, I think when I was a kid, almost actually 12 years old, I think I had was collecting some keychains, and I think one of them I really liked, you know, and then one of my friends really wanted it, so I think we negotiated actually the price, and he ended up taking it, and it was just like very little you know, pennies, but you know, at that time I felt like, okay, it was actually fun, and I enjoyed it, but definitely it wasn't something you grew up, you know, in Egypt as a path. You have to be like, you know, the mindset, a doctor, an engineer, a lawyer, like it has to be a very defined path. And then that kind of stayed off for a while until, you know, in the last like maybe 7-8 years, I kind of read actually some books that inspired me for that. And I would say one of them, or some of them, are The Innovator DNA. I love that book.
Never
The 4-Hour Work Week. I think that's a classic. A lot of people read that book. And then there's definitely a bunch of others later that I always recommend for people, like The Lean Startup, The Personal MBA. I mean, these are definitely 4 of my favorite books ever.
We'll put under our video to people who wants all these books, who will be maybe inspired as well to be an entrepreneur. And life go on, and you finish your doctorate degree and you get to Kellogg.
Yeah, so I kind of, when I was in my fellowship, I went back to school, got my master's in like clinical research, clinical trials, which is actually a big part of what I do now. Like I see patients, a couple of clinics a week, but I also do like clinical research. So I got my master's degree in clinical research, and then I went back to Kellogg. So I've been Northwestern for almost 12 years now. So some people joke, say like, you bleed purple, you know, because you're too much Northwestern now, but yeah.
And in Kellogg, you got that, like, now back to your product. You decided you want to start the business. It's happened in Kellogg, or it happened before Kellogg?
Well, I had the concept of bringing baklava in a healthier way and in a better for you way to the US, maybe actually 7 years ago, but I didn't know like the how, the process, talked to even some potential suppliers in Egypt first, but I couldn't really trust that the process will work, so I kind of put it on the shelf again. And the reason for that was I was just never happy with the quality of the ones I can find in the market, even if you can find it, you know. But I just didn't know the how. I was just starting my faculty, launching my research career and academic path. So I felt, okay, maybe we'll come back, we'll table it for now. And then maybe 2018, I said, okay, I may want to go back, you know, to get my MBA, because I looked at my library and half of my books are kind of HBR, you know, Harvard Business Reviews, business books, innovation books, like, and I felt, you know, I really enjoy that kind of reading. And I maybe will go back and study, learn, and just do it in a more rigorous way. and I got the GRE book, and I said, I was looking at the requirement, GMAT, GRE, and I said, okay, maybe I'm not a math person, forget about GMAT, let's try the GRE. And I had that book on my desk for 2 years. Every time I open it, I don't want to study that shit. I just don't want to deal with this. And then it kept going, tried to negotiate with the school, can we waive it? I will be okay. No, everybody has to. And then COVID happened, and then all the test center closed. And then, then they waived the test. Then you don't have to do GRE or GMAT. And then I applied right away. I got in.
Executive MBA, right?
No, actually, I did the evening program.
Wow, because I did executive MBA.
Oh, you did executive.
That's why probably professor was a little bit different.
Yes. So I did the evening one. But that's really how, like, I think I said, like, maybe the only good thing that for me personally happened out of COVID is actually the test was waived. So I actually ended up going to Kellogg, and then it's all history now.
You know what? It's interesting because I decided to go to executive MBA with the same reason as you. I didn't have time. I have business. I work 15, 16 hours a day. I don't have time to study GMAT, right? I want to go to study real cases, but I'm not ready to study for GMAT. And I did. I studied for half year, a year. I did tests. It was not that great. But executive MBA not required.
Okay.
That's why I go to executive MBA and I finished it.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Okay, you go to MBA and you decide, okay, this is the time I need to start my product.
Yeah, and I think what happened is I honestly was going in the MBA. The entrepreneurship was there, but also I was thinking maybe I will consider healthcare, executive path, hospital administration, let me learn about it. But I realized that I just love the autonomy and I hate bureaucracy, more or less. I mean, we all have to deal with bureaucracy in our jobs, when you are in any corporate or any kind of company. And I love, where I am right now in my hospital, but I don't know if I really want to go that path anymore. I loved my marketing, classes and professors. I loved the entrepreneurship classes I took. And it definitely kind of immersed in my head that, okay, now is really kind of the time. And then once I graduated, like I finished my last class in September 23. And then I decided to launch the company a few months later. Wow. It really was just like right after. So
where people can find your product now?
So we are in about like maybe almost 100 stores kind of nationwide. Some of them you can see on the website, like find us and you can do it. We have our website like darbaklava.com, and then we are also on Amazon Prime. So I would say the fastest way is either the website or Amazon. And hopefully, like fingers crossed, mid-October we will be at all Mariano's locations, Metro Market, Meyer as well in October, and maybe even more Meyer locations next year.
And about design, you did marketing because you finished MBA and you decide, okay, I will do by myself, design, brand name, branding, target customers. It was all your decision, or you just hire people who help you with that?
So it definitely was a teamwork. I think my company is still a company of one, which is me, but then I have other collaborator or consultant that I work with. I came with the name Dar Baklava because I think I wanted to simplify it a little bit, but it still reflect my roots and culture. Because our purpose and as a company and me really doing it is to bring Middle Eastern and Mediterranean culture in a more snackable format, in a healthier way, for everyday snack. People think of baklava as mainly holiday, gifting, celebrations, but really my concept for making it more of like a snack pack is really to make it just, on the go, 3-4 pieces. You can share it easy in a coffee shop. You can put it in your backpack going to work. Usually it's sold in the bigger cases, boxes for kind of, gifting, I guess, which is great. And we offer that too. But we were really kind of the first one to take it to market in that kind of snack pack. So that was part of like my vision for it. I work with a lot of people. I definitely had a lot of advice from some of my marketing professors, like Dr. or Professor, I should say, Julie Hennessy is definitely one of my really kind of big guides in that. And then Professor Kevin McTeague as well. I think there are two people that I talk to, especially Julie, I would say.
Professor McTeague?
Yes.
I guess so.
And you know, I ran a lot of the packaging with them, you know, the idea, the concept. And definitely that's our next packaging or second packaging. I wish I had the first one, but I can send you a picture. You can actually
It was
show.
upgraded.
Yeah, yeah, the old one, I mean, and that's when you come to learn mistakes, and maybe we'll talk about that later. But as a pediatrician coming up with like a CPG product, you can imagine the, you know, very limited, poor experience. Like I didn't have barcode on the product, you know, I didn't have expiration date on the product. The nutrition information was wrong. So I had like to put 3 stickers on like thousands of units, and that was like a simple mistake, but cost me money, cost me time, effort, just to try to fix stuff like that. But you live and learn, and you just like, you know, take a deep breath and you just keep going. So seeing the revised version with have everything on it that I don't have to deal that anymore was quite relieving for sure.
Wow. And you did this everything like organically, or you did like you have some plan and you try to stick the plan? Because a lot of people wants to start business, right? And they getting ready. And they can get in ready like for 5, 10 years, 15 and never start, because you can't be perfect to start. Like even Kellogg, I don't know if you had that class, like you have to make prototype and start right away to check the market, yes, to try the market. If someone needs this product, right? Did you have the plan, or you just did everything by just organically, step by step?
So I think, you know, part of it was kind of organically, part of it was a little bit random, but I had some definitely steps on the way, you know, and it started when I was visiting my family in Egypt in August, coming back September 2023, and then I was coming back with like Jordanian Airlines, and then I was, you know, served Jordanian food, and I think that's really where I got the inspiration and learn more in that trip about some of the manufacturers in Jordan that the quality, you know, what they do. So I actually was kind of intrigued, and I looked for different co-packers or supplier who can make it in Egypt and other countries. The US is always, for me, was afraid of like the high overhead costs. So I always, in my head, I thought I would always avoid the US for now. So I went back Thanksgiving Day. I flew to Jordan, met with like, you know, manufacturers, chefs, owners of different companies, toured them, understood what ingredient they use, quality, really kind of the production taste, try, until I kind of landed, maybe I met with like almost 7 of them, until I landed on the best one that would be willing to implement and do our recipe, like kind of at the healthier side, 6 clean ingredients, nothing artificial, no color, no preservative, butter ghee, no oil, 3 times more nuts than dough. So all the specs that they were willing to do. And then I came back after I had my first choice and second choice. I came back to the US with 24 kilograms of baklava. Like my case was just full of baklava, like kind of gift boxes. And I was doing my market testing. So I would go to like the holiday party in the hospital, and then I would put like 3 or 4 of this and see what people react to them. What is the feedback? Do you like it? What do you like about it? Why not? Would you buy it? Would you buy it in a small case? And then we'll go to like, you know, friends' holiday party. Same thing, just drag 2 or 3 of those cases with me.
A lot of work.
Yeah. I went to like a medical conference, actually, the American Society of Hematology, and I had my backpack for 4 days, and I always have a case or 2, and then I would meet my friends, catch up with them from all over the US, and then I would say, 1 second, do you like baklava? No allergies? Okay. Do you want to try this? How much you want to pay for it? How much would it like to be? You know, what's the packaging? And then I came back after this, and then December 24th, I think Christmas, I filed for the LLC. I think I had enough kind of proof of concept information. Because one thing I learned from Kellogg for sure, in I think it was Harry Kramer, the value-based leadership class, and I think that was him. I can't remember if it's him or Carter Cass, but one of them, if not both. Like in business, you know, and I guess actually in life in general. If you wait until you have 100% of the information, that's too late. And if you have 20, 30%, that's not enough. You need 70% of the information to be confident relatively in your decision. And I felt I had enough. Between the tour, I understand the business more. I've been working on how can we make it healthier recipe for a while. And then I just felt I have enough validation that I should just go with it, you know? And there is no benefit without risk. And I made mistakes and I not regretting them. I learn and I'm moving on.
Yeah, I think it's impossible to avoid mistakes. If you not have mistakes, you never learn and you can make progress.
Yes, 100%.
If you, like some people watch and they think about corporate job or start as a business, in your experience, what do you recommend? Do you think like business for everyone, or it's you need to have some special personality to do a business, like risk tolerance and other stuff?
I think you have to just kind of set some rules for yourself, right? Like there is no benefit without risk. You have to accept that you're gonna make mistakes. You have to be kind to yourself. You have to take care of yourself, you know, like you set some, again, grounding rules. Like for me, and we can talk about this more, but I feel like a lot of people can. It's just like you have to take that courage and talk to people, talk and ask questions and really kind of run the ideas by people. But you are the ultimate decision maker who really gonna pull the trigger and really kind of, you know, make that, you know, kind of decision. And you have to kind of stay with it. And I think, as I like to say, you have to have your heart in the business and the business in your heart. Like I think for me, if I get an order and it is raining like hell outside, and I really kind of promise it's gonna get out within 1 or 2 days, I would just put it in my backpack, which Kellogg usually give us this kind of big gigantic backpack, which I think carried a lot of my products, you know, when I go for like delivery at UPS all the time, or USPS. And yeah, and it doesn't really matter because I bike, I put my stuff, I put my orders and I go. You really have to believe that you need to deliver to the patient, well, I always mix patients and customers, the best service. And that's actually one thing I learned from being a physician too, is like, you know, I'm a big believer in patient-centered care. So you have to also do like customer-centered. You have to really put customers first and listen to customers, listen to their feedback, what do they want, what they're looking for, and learn and iterate as you go. So not everybody is, but you have to kind of just ask yourself some of those questions.
Because on the beginning, people, like it's normal, natural for human to start see results so fast, right? I'm 12 years in business and it's going like this, like it's one, you're positive, next day, it's you don't want anything, right? But you need to push yourself to do stuff. Even if you don't see benefits, you don't see progress, right? And I saw your Instagram post, how you excited about to load boxes by yourself, right? This is a passion about entrepreneurship. That's what I mean. Like not everyone can do that because people think like, okay, you have 100 people employed, like startups, right? Because you build the business startup, but you start like real business, right? It's not you raise money and just make some IT product and you wait 10 years and you raise money and you have money to operate. I think you was same like I did. You have to be thinking about how to be profitable, what stuff you can do by yourself. Like you don't have forklifter, you do it by yourself. You don't have driver, you do it by yourself. And all this stuff in the beginning is necessary because without that you need to know all part of your business because one day you're accountant, next day you're marketing, right? Yeah. This is how you did.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, you know, it's you use the information you have, and I think you always kind of sometimes need to kind of challenge the status quo. Like I think if somebody, oh, this is how everybody's doing, you have to do this, you have to do that. Well, you know, maybe not really. I mean, you can really try to figure it out with what you have, right? Like you can, even with limited resources, right? Like, you know, how to really make it work with like what you just have, and maybe you're not ready to kind of scale, and you start with like a smaller, you know, amount, a smaller outreach. Like, don't need a whole staff, you know, it's just really me and the company. I mean, I have some consultant that somebody helped me with like the graphic design. You know, I had like a marketing company help me with this new packaging, the colors. You know, Baklava came from feedback. Actually, it was part of it with Professor Hennessy, actually. Like, you know, just customer feedback. And so I think how to make it more modern, all of that stuff, write the story. So, but you really kind of have to kind of use what you have and then see how you make it work, right? And as you said, I think one of my actually biggest inspiration is always like Steve Jobs, and it's not really just anything specific, but I love one of his speeches. I think he did one of the graduation, maybe it was Stanford. You can, and I think if I remember correctly, you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backward. So you have to trust in something. You have to trust that they connect down the road. And I think having that belief and having that kind of vision or idea and seeing through, and that will help you, in my opinion, go through all like the hoops, right? I ordered, a lot of inventory in the beginning. A lot of it got bad. I had to just get rid of it because I just, have no idea what my velocity is. Lessons learned, right? The packaging we talked about. So there are a lot of stuff like this, but then you have to just believe. And that's how, we just went through, and now persistence, perseverance, but also well-being, and I was mentioning some ground rules, like I personally, because I still love what I do, and I don't think I will ever stop seeing patients, even if I go to part-time maybe one day. But I still love what I do, and I'm fortunate and grateful that I do what I love, and I love what I do for both the hospital and the business. So it's not that I'm running away from the hospital, so I'm starting a business, or the other way around.
How you manage everything? Because I remember when I joined the Kellogg, I was like, how I will do that, right? 15 hours, 16, 17 hours a day, and plus I will have another stuff, because I apply, they accept me, and after that I start thinking, what I will do, how I will handle. Plus I have family, I have son, right? How I will manage all this. But we human, and somehow we adapt. I was sitting in this room, late night with my group meeting till 11 p.m. with Resolve Finance 2 and all these cases. What about you? You have a job, and you have business, and how you manage all this?
I think I kind of had to set, in the beginning, definitely I had some, overwhelming times, that's for sure, there is no question. And entrepreneurship can be lonely. And I think that's why sometimes people say it's good to have co-founders sometimes, that you can really kind of have each other back. But I'm really kind of grateful for all the support I had from all like my friends who really kind of stood by me, and they were my first customers, or the ones that actually kind of helping me out. A lot of them are Kellogg for sure, alums or friends, and that I needed that. I needed that support, because when you already start a business, you are very vulnerable. You really are, because you are hoping for any support you can get from people. And people may call them friends, but they really, when it comes to actually helping you, they unfortunately may not, and some other people might surprise you in a great way. And one big example is, and I will come back to the rules that I set for myself, is out of nowhere, I had one of my really friends that Alexis Ullman, we took maybe 1 or 2 classes together, and then we follow each other on Instagram, and then she actually reached out to me, and she said, Sherif, I think actually want to connect you with one of my co-workers, in the company, and his aunt, did go to QVC and was selling on TV, and I think your product will be a great fit, and I didn't seek it, but Alexis was like so kind to make that connection in her head, reach out to me, connect me with him, Nico, that I ended up going on QVC, on TV. We sold out our gift box. We went back now maybe almost 4 or 5 times since then. And that was really kind of a connection through Kellogg, but because just she wanted to do a good deed, help me out, and it's karma, right? And life kind of goes on.
I believe in karma so much. Right. At Kellogg community, when people ask me about what Kellogg special, why people love Kellogg, and as a networking and people, when you send message, 10 people, 90% you will receive answer for 8. Yes. Like in our case, right? I'm like, this is my startup, another startup. I decided to do the vlog, and I interview people. Someone, most of my support was from Kellogg. Someone agreed to be like you, and I appreciate again that you decided to spend night with me and talk. This is a Kellogg community when they ready to help each other without any other benefit, right? Yeah. And it's superpower. Yeah. And around the world, like we have Hong Kong, we have people from Europe, from Germany, right? Yeah. It's
100%. And I really can't tell you enough about how much really support I got from the Kellogg network in that journey. From starting from Professor Hennessy, with the packaging and the marketing, and McTeague. And then, Alexis, and a lot of other people, John Worthy was one of my other classmates. He worked for Mondelez, and he was like my CPG guru. He already knows everything CPG. I always go to him for question. Hey, John, I'm going to be meeting with Compass Group, who does a lot of food services and food stuff. What should I talk to them about? I didn't know what is a sell sheet. I didn't know what is a UPC, like a barcode. I had to Google all of this so I can really understand what the rules are and how does that even work. And then again, Colleen and Kraft, Heinz, like a lot of people that are just like really amazing. And but I was talking about the rules earlier because I felt I was getting burned out, and I felt like I have to accept the fact that some of the progress might be slow, and that's okay. I have to set my priorities. So, my daytime job and my patients always come first, and then my well-being, and then I can do everything else I can. Well-being meaning that I always sleep 7 hours. But if I'm in bed by 9, I'm okay waking up at 4. If it's 10, it's 5. Like I just need always 7 hours, no matter what. And then if I don't exercise in a day, whether it's running, tennis, hot yoga, I don't feel good, and I feel like I need it for my kind of sanity, for my balance, for really kind of my also decision making. I feel like it makes me sharp to actually exercise every day for at least an hour, if not 2. And yeah, I may reach out to more retailers, more leads. I have emails that is sitting that I need to reply to, but I have to take care of that part first. I will get to that. And Harry Kramer has that kind of simple rule in any situation. And I love that from Harry for sure. You do the best. Harry Kramer.
Harry Kramer?
Yes.
I invited you, but we didn't record yet.
Yes, hopefully soon. Harry is absolutely lovely. In any situation, you do the right thing and you do the best you can. And I feel like that really kind of simplifies life quite a bit, but I feel it was helpful for me after I prioritize patients, well-being, and then everything else goes.
Nice. And your first customers, you said, it was people around you, who was around you, your friends, family, first customers.
Yes. Definitely that was the first, and then posting on Instagram and stuff like that, and then have people talk about it, share with each other. So that's why I was very grateful when people really kind of come and even post themselves or buy to just share with other people. And then that's really where you really can see your kind of friends who really kind of care and really see and ask you, what can I do to help you? Because they really understand how challenging it is to build a brand, brand awareness and really get people out there. There's just so many products, right? And it takes time and effort and support and not that many people are willing to make that effort. Even if how is the business going? But they maybe didn't actually take a single action to actually support you. And I'm sure you can relate to that.
For example, I want to start a business, right? Yeah. Beverage, right? What I should, or any of our guests, what they should concentrate on the beginning? Brand, packaging, product, or just patents and name, licensing, or something? More official part or more creative part on the beginning?
I think it's more the creative part. I think I feel like that's the most important. If you don't have a good product, you can't, even if you're good at selling and everything else, even if you had initial success, not gonna last. I think you really need to have a good product that people agree that this is different. And that's actually one of my biggest kind of thing that I always enjoy when I do craft fairs or farmers market, that some people pass by and say, oh, baklava, oh no, thank you. It's too sugary, too sweet, I don't like it. And I tell them, but it's healthier. And then, is there anything called healthier baklava? How does that even work? And then I tell them,
It's honey, right?
No, we don't use honey.
No?
So we use sugar syrup, but then we drain the big trays overnight, and I can send you that picture to put in the podcast video. So we get rid of it almost 12 to 14 hours. So our percent syrup is 4 or 5%. Traditional baklava is 40, 50%. So ours is more on the drier side. A lot more nuts than those, so the flavor is actually much better. And that's why we came with the no sticky finger kind of slogan, because it's kind of minimal sweetened. So when people try, they actually can see the difference, taste the difference, feel the difference. Then you say, you know right. And usually they end up buying and actually kind of taking the information for the company and spread the word. So I think you really have to have a product that people actually appreciate, enjoy. And that's how I did that market in the company, in the conference that I went
Test,
tasting. Yes, make sure that people really validate that.
And after that, think about how to, because everyone thinks, oh, someone will copy me, right? But it's too early, right? You need to start product, and after that, do all stuff.
Yes, and
to
then,
protect your brand.
Yes, exactly. In the beginning, and actually, one of the thing I listened to at least 2-3 times, if not 4. Kellogg has that Kellogg Insight, like the podcast, which I also love, and I listened almost all the episodes. But there was one called Insight Unpacked. And I think the first one they did was actually on branding. And I love that series of like 5 episodes, because one of them was about the branding and the names and whatever. And that's why, one of the things is just like, people need to know what it is. And that's why I said it's Dar Baklava, like Dar Baklava.
What Dar mean? Sorry.
Dar means home or house in Arabic.
Okay.
And my idea for it is like, that's why there is like more almost like a door, and the D is like more of a knob. So, but that, and the reason for it is, one, I wanted it to be a simple word, like easy to understand, not a complicated, difficult to pronounce word, like Dar, D-A-R, very easy. Hopefully easy to remember as well. And then at the same time, as a house or home, I wanted it to bring us together, as a community, something that we can enjoy, family, friends. And again, this is really kind of the purpose, is bringing the Middle Eastern, Mediterranean culture to everyday snack and bring the community together with all the flavors and the ingredients. So I feel like, it's, so I wanted it to be simple and says what it is. Dar Baklava, okay, you definitely sell baklava. Even if we have other products, which sometimes confuses people, but at least it's very clear what actually are we doing. And then the name Snaklava, and that came from, kind of talking quite a bit with Julie Hennessy. So it's a baklava snack. Snack plus baklava equal Snaklava. And people love the name. It's clever, it's cute, it's very modern, Western, it's kind of take it to a different level. Still kind of buy Dar Baklava, but for the snack packs, we are leading with the name Snaklava. And people love this, because it's different. But when I came to that point, I had to do like the trademark, which I filed for myself. The gift box, we call it Nut Lava, like, lava of nuts, because it has a lot of nuts in it. And then the trademark for the company, like Dar Baklava, have the name as well, and the website.
It's important part as well.
Yes, so I think
trademark.
I was just advising another Kellogg student who reached out, for tips on launching, and I told her, once you really have a name, you need to kind of lock a lot of the things, like the domain for the website, all your social, kind of handles, like, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, like lock that, because that's important, that you need to lock those. And then, like for example, actually I was looking for the domain snaklava.com, and we were really the first snaklava, but apparently I was late when I looked for that. I had darbaklava.com for sure, but somebody snapped it, and then now asking for like 5,000-6,000 to kind of, I said, you know what, I think I got one just as a backup, eat snaklava. So I said, you know what, keep snaklava, but there is always only one snaklava with the trademark. So.
Nice, it's very interesting.
So you have to think about both, the product,
both.
but also you have to think about these other logistics and the sequence to protect yourself, your concept, but then you have to take it to the finish line.
I'll tell you one thing, because I showed today that in work, I said I leave early today because I have to record podcast with one of my friends from Kellogg, and I showed them what do you make, and they said, oh, it's probably expensive. They like for their first thesis, right? They never seen it before, and they said, you targeting like people think it's expensive, like a high value product, and because of packaging of everything, they say, oh, it's probably because how they see baklava, right? In Ukraine or something, the people went on a beach and sell like on a plastic bag or something, right? Yeah. There's no packaging, no design, no brand. But in your case, it looks perfect looks really cool.
Yeah, no, and I think your point is well taken, and definitely some people, look at it and say, I don't want to say intimidating, but like, that looks expensive, but I think what my dream is to see it mainstream. That it's very simple and like an everyday snack, not just occasions. And I think the category where I hope it would live in is what I can call mass premium. So it is premium because the ingredients are different. It's a clean label. We're working on like non-GMO certification, hopefully one day organic, but like really try to keep it really very the best it can be. And we're likely maybe one of the few, if not the only, like that really level of standards from the grade of the nuts, the kind of butter we use, like everything that we put in it, other than just being delicate, handmade, artisan, really kind of like as a product. But really make it mass premium. So it's affordable, like $3.99, $4.99 for like a snack pack. But everybody can get it. Like it's not really kind of a $7.99 or an $8.99 snack, which we know that there are some brands out there that are that expensive because they are just the way it is, right?
Got it. Can you tell us how is your typical day looks like? Like you wake up, exercise, and other stuff.
You know, I think usually I'm an early morning person. I feel that actually helped me being quite productive because I realized that my prime time is really the morning. So if I have like academic writing, like writing a paper or like a book chapter or a grant proposal, because I still do a lot of research and I have published a good number of papers, that's usually my prime time. But otherwise, part of my routine, you know, and also one of my values, I should say, early is family. So I always talk to my mom, my brothers, at least like half hour in the morning. I have my coffee. I have two.
What time?
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
Yeah, and wake up like 4:30, 5. Then I do my half hour with family, catching up, play with my cats a little bit, and then. And then I usually would go for like a run around 5:45, 6-ish to 7, and then come back, have a good breakfast, and restart my day. And usually I start see what orders from the night before or the day before, and fulfill them on my way to work. To the hospital, I fill my bag and then drop off UPS almost every day, and then go and then later after work, I can catch up with few other emails and stuff. So I feel I'm kind of slowing, catching up with things as I go, but really kind of the 4 or 5 hours in the morning, I take care of myself. I kind of fulfill some of the urgent business needs, if you will. Then I do my day job, and then I have another couple of hours afterwards. And yeah, so it definitely goes up and down. Some days are busier than others. But I feel like when you love what you do, it doesn't become a chore, right? It doesn't become like a burden. You really enjoy it. Yes, you're gonna be tired. Yes, it's gonna be overwhelming sometimes. Things may not work, but that's okay.
I like what you said, and it will be a good example for people because it's in internet a lot of narrative leave your job, start your business, right? Some people have mortgage, some people have family responsibility, and Sherif give us good example how to do both. Yes, you will be tired. Yes, you'll be sometimes no energy, but if you love what you do, you still can handle both, right? Yeah, we have 24 hours.
No, and I think you really need to kind of reflect, and I think self-reflection is definitely very helpful because because that helps you understand what are your values, what are the important things, what are the things that, for me, honestly, I enjoy fulfilling my customers' orders. I absolutely do. And actually one other thing specifically I enjoy, we work a lot with a website called Uncommon Goods. And it's a famous, I guess, gifting website in the US. I didn't know about until I met with one of their buyers earlier this year or end of last year. And a lot of people actually gift each other, and then they can write a message. And on the website now, we also have people can write messages for each other too. And I love reading those, and I even sometimes would actually take that message. I had even cards that I would write on their behalf. If it's a happy birthday, oh, grandpa, hope you enjoy these lovely baklava treats, they are made from Jordan, blah, 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 take care, enjoy, whatever. And people and I love reading those messages because it really take it home for me, for the community. One of the reasons why I actually wanted to start it and actually have that connection that people enjoy, connect, in different ways, even if they are actually in different places, but through that, right, it actually brings us together rather than apart and, polarizing, and I feel like we're at a time where people are just different opinion, different kind of directions, we can agree to disagree, but we need things that actually kind of get us more in unity rather than apart.
Do you have something what you don't like to do in your business, something, I don't know, resolve issue with the customer or something?
I think It's not that I don't like to do. I think, you know, like sometimes it's just like I feel like when people sometimes are like, I guess, you know, it's part of it, right? Like when you are like in a market, you know, and your people definitely like to try the product sometimes, but sometimes, you know, people come to like the markets and they have zero intention of buying anything, and they just like want to have like, you know, try like 8 different products, and then as if somebody gave that to you, like, you know, to just share with everybody, and then they don't understand that you are really kind of small business that are just trying to make it work, and you are kind of sharing with them samples with the hope that maybe they will buy like a $3.99 thing, but they are willing to like eat a sample of 15 different products and then leave without even buying a single thing, even if they loved them all. I think that sometimes, you know, when people just need to understand where small businesses are, that they are really just trying to make it work. So you know, I got used to it. In the beginning, it was kind of like annoying a little bit. I have to say, okay, well, you really have no interest, and that's okay. And some other people would just come say, you know what, I don't even need to try. I love baklava. They can see that this is really great, and but I don't know if I would say I don't like it. I mean, I really kind of enjoyed all aspects of it. I think there are some things you learn as you go, like, you know, inventory, you know, management, finances, you know, I guess like CRM. I think I joke about it with my friends sometimes because I do not have a CRM system, and my CRM is literally, and I'm not kidding, Roman, it's like a box. Because I go to trade shows and people give me their cards, and I have a box. And that box has all these cards in it that I put them in envelopes. And this is coffee shop, this is hotel, this is retailer, this is distributor, this is media, this is whatever. And that's my CRM so far. So I'm hoping one day I will actually transition to like a soft, like HubSpot or whatever the hell that is. But I just need to kind of figure that out. Maybe find an intern who can actually help me with that and just give them credit hours or something. But there are things that, you know, right, just
routine, routine work.
But it's fun, and people really in the industry have been very helpful, very kind, feedback. You just have to be willing to listen, to understand, not to reply. And I think that's kind of Gina Fong kind of famous say. So,
what is the most challenging part? Like for example, to find good designer or something like that. What is the challenge? Or expensive ingredients for your food, for your product.
I mean, I think.
Or find good quality.
Quality, I mean, you have to set the rules, right? Like, I think quality, if you're really going for quality, you have to always go for quality, right? Like, and really kind of make it a priority, because you always can find the same thing in different ways. However, I think sometimes things may not be as expensive as you maybe think it is. And you may, you know, kind of entertain different opportunities. So, and I can give you a couple of examples, you know. I kind of talked to some design firms that are definitely kind of maybe great at what they do, but when they quoted me for maybe design some of the new packaging and stuff, minimum is like, you know, 5K, 8K, 10K, you know, which is all our money, you know, and I don't sit on that much money, right? Like, it's self-funded company. I mean, I'm really trying to figure it out. Maybe for some others it's easy, but, you know, and then, okay, fine. And I'm sure they are doing great work, right? But I ended up actually outsourcing my graphic design to a graphic designer in Egypt, who is way more affordable for me, with still great quality and some, you know, kind of direction. We ended up with like really great outcome at the end, right? I was trying to, very recent, actually, like maybe a couple of months ago, food photography, because I wanted to upgrade some of the photos on the package, maybe overall, just to make it more like lifestyle, more really kind of appealing to people. So I kind of talked to a food photographer in Chicago, and I think he quoted me closer to 4,300, 4,400, you know, for just like a few hours, 6 hours or so, which was kind of, I could have taken it and said, okay, great, you know, because I know he's a good work, but it just happened that I was, you know, really getting to a point where I felt, okay, I need a break because, you know, some family illness, some stress, all of this. So I already just a few weeks before booked a trip to Brazil, like a solo trip, just to do like silent retreat, just me, meditating, exercising, reading, and I just needed to disconnect from Chicago, everywhere. And then I thought, you know what, I'm going to Brazil. You know, maybe I will actually find more affordable food photographers. And then I just Googled food photographer Sao Paulo until I actually like found like a few, and then I reached out to two of them, and they did amazing work for $300 each. And I felt actually the whole trip costed me maybe 30% or 25% of what that person quoted me here. And I did my retreat. I came back recharged. I had like, tons of photos for all the products I have that I can really work for next time. But I think my point is you just sometimes have to think a little bit different and just don't take it as this is the way it is.
And you saying this all stuff, what do you see like, what opportunity for entrepreneurs now? Like what you need but you can't find in the market? Like, I don't know, like maybe you can produce in US but you can find good co-packer or something. Like what opportunity, what business idea you can maybe give to our viewer, like something?
I think,
or have you seen in the future like will be very needed for business, small business?
I think, it really kind of depends on what really, you have to be passionate about what you do. Like for me, I think baklava or like Middle Eastern sweets I have a sweet tooth, and I care about what I eat, right? I'm, as a pediatrician, as a marathon runner, and we didn't talk about it, but I know you run the Chicago Marathon. I did Chicago like 4 times. The 5th is gonna be in a couple of weeks, and then the first New York Marathon 3 weeks after. So I'm not sure how that will go, but we'll see. So I really care about nutrition and quality food and really what I eat, and that was part of the inspiration. Like I wanted to bring it, but I want to bring it my way, clean, better for you, all of that stuff, and then the snackable way. And I think the snack, it really aligned with where the market is going, where there is more growth in the snacking industry, I would say. So if you really think of, let's say somebody from a different country, and that's one thing I love, travel, like I've been to, not a lot, but maybe like 35 countries, and I love to just walk around and see, oh, that's an interesting product, oh, that's an interesting, you have to be observation, to really have, turn that kind of button on when you're especially traveling in a foreign country, and look for opportunity. Maybe it's not gonna be the first one, right? Like I have actually an idea book. I write ideas, that come to me, or names, or whatever. Because then you can always come back to that and see, oh, what was this about? And I even to the point that I have a box that I have all these kind of little pieces or brochures or notes that I wrote for ideas that definitely didn't go anywhere. And I have something else I'm working on, but a little bit slower pace that hopefully will go somewhere for like medicine and helping kids take their medicine and stuff. But you will have a lot of ideas that will not absolutely go anywhere, and that's okay. But some hopefully will go. So I think it's really, maybe what I'm going to is, it's not going to be like one idea and it will always hit. Sometimes maybe that would work, but you will really filter through so many others. So you have to test more to end up with like some that maybe have some potential. It is not going to be a one and done. It's a process, I guess.
Nice. Running. How you said like a little bit about running. You said it's help to recharge your batteries, right?
Yes.
This is the biggest for you. Are you did triathlon as well or just marathon?
Marathon. I'm not a good swimmer. I think that's my problem. I bike everywhere. I commute to bike. I joke. I say I even go to Costco on my bike, and but not a good swimmer yet. So hopefully, but that's for me. And the 5-year goal is to finish an Ironman. Hopefully. So.
Wow. You did Chicago.
Chicago 4 times.
4 times.
This is gonna be my 5th this year.
And New York.
New York I will do this year
This
as well.
year.
My first year time.
Nice. It's one of my goals. New York and London. I did Chicago twice.
Yeah.
I did half Ironman Miami.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. And what for you? For me, it's marathon like kind of simulation of life.
Yes.
It's probably any sport, like for long distance, triathlon or marathon, because you have like, you're excited on the beginning.
Yes.
After you get tired and hills and down and like in triathlon you have broken bike and you need to think how to fix it, like everything going in your plan.
Yeah.
Is for you something similar, like sport good simulation and to push through it in life?
I think this is very true, and I think even related to that, what I always remind myself with the entrepreneurship, it's a marathon, not a sprint, right? It is not that you just have a product right now and it will, like there are some companies I talk to like now and then we may not do business together until a year from now, because it's a process. building that connection, the relationship. They have their own process, something they call category review or whatever. And then really kind of understanding how even whatever business you are in, how does it work? Like if it's a CPG, right, consumer packaged goods, I had no idea. What is it? What is a distributor? And then, what does that even work? And then the DCs and what is the margin that people are looking for? So there is, if you work with a broker that needs a margin, and then the distributor need a margin, and then the retailer need a margin, and you need to survive as a company with some kind of margin. So how do you bake all of that into the price that will end up going to the customer at the end, while you are actually sustaining and maintaining a healthy business that at least can stay alive and don't go under in like few years? It's not easy but you just have to understand how all these layers work together, right? And figure out the best path.
You said brokers. You also have brokers to get to retailer through the broker?
So actually, like not yet. I mean, there is one that I likely may end up working with.
But it's one of the options how you can get to the retailer through the broker.
Through brokers, that is for sure. I think, and there are different models. I think some broker, may reach out to companies, and some reach out to me for like a retainer. They want like 2-3K a month, but they would represent you. I kind of have not been much fan of that model because I just don't know, and I know that people really will do their best so far, but the 2-3 brokers I'm working with right now is like 5% commission, and that's kind of the standard, I guess, in the business as well. So if we do a sale, you look up the PO, the purchase order, you have 5% of that. No sale, no money. I mean, I feel like that's having a skin in the game. I think that really is the best way, at least in my opinion. I think maybe some people like that model, some people not, but from personal experience, I think that really work best. But I feel for people who are really interested in food business, and I always recommend the Hatchery, because I'm very grateful for the Hatchery, which is a food incubator in Chicago.
Hatchery?
The Hatchery. And then
can you tell us more about it? What do they do?
So they do a lot of programming, a lot of lectures. They kind of mentorship as well to some extent. I store my products actually there at a place called ICNC, like Make City or Industrial Council, Northwest Chicago.
For example, if I have a product, I can go there and they have certified kitchen where I can cook and start the sale from there.
Yes, if you are
I hear about this, but I didn't know how this works.
Yes, yeah. You rent a space, specific
FDA
days.
approved.
Yeah, it's definitely all certification needed, already done, because this place, the Hatchery, has a lot of like support and even funding from like Mondelez and a lot of other corporate. I just can't remember what are the other corporate supporting it. But I know Mondelez is a big one of them. So it's a great place. And then also, even how to create like a sell sheet, to share with like buyers, or like other retailers. My first food show was like one of a kind show, and I was part of the Hatchery, as they have their little kind of area where all the Hatchery, kind of vendors, I was one of them. When I did my first kind of food show out in Vegas or New York, I was with the Hatchery as well. So they had like, fancy food show, I was with them, right? So they really kind of, and they give you, discounted rates. Like, it's maybe 25% of what you would pay in full, you would pay only 25% of that.
This is based on month's payment, or how this works?
So you actually don't have to do like a membership. It's kind of, you have to just be part of the community more or less. So I rent a space for my warehouse there, and it's like a 500 square foot, kind of storage area. And that's how I became part of that universe. Some other people might do the same thing. Some people might actually use a kitchen space. But honestly, even if people are just curious and don't have a product yet, you can just go and listen, because they have, speakers.
Very useful information.
Speakers from like Mondelez, from Costco, from Fresh Market, really. And then they do like an annual buyer event. And that's how I met, a lot of the buyers from Whole Food, from Mariano's, from Fresh Market. At really and Fresh Time from these events. So I think I mentioned to you before we started, like we will be in all the stores of Mariana's by mid-October. So that's kind of 44 stores, and then Metro Market another 23. Myers, another 11, hopefully by mid-October or end of October. And then hopefully next year, another 180 from Meyer. And a lot of those really buyers from Meyer too were in that event, really come from that specific hatchery event, right? So you just have to be there, talk to people, practice, put yourself out there.
Hatcher, this is connected to that you said kitchen.
They have the shared kitchen license. Like you can actually rent a space
How
there.
is this called one more time? Name of the...
The hatchery, and I can give you the link to it so you can
hatchery,
include it. Yeah, hatchery and ICNC.
It's kind of co-working or something.
It's not it's a specific food incubator. I call it
Incubator.
a food
Okay,
incubator.
This is right. Is that right word?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And I definitely met a lot of other food entrepreneurs there who have been like super, super helpful with advice, with insight, even ended up hiring some of them as consultants because they already went through the path, and really kind of helped me through it. And then, again, speaking of connections, another kind of, graduate connected with me with somebody who does like Amazon. He used to work for Amazon, and then now he has his own consultancy. And Jay helped me a lot, kind of grow my Amazon business. And we are like number 7 right now on Amazon on the baklava category in like 6 months, maybe 8 months. That's it, in a very short period. And like he charges me X, and I had other company that wanted to charge me like maybe, I don't know, 20X, So, you just like have to figure out really kind of, how to make it work with your limited resources and just work with the right people. But definitely I had some experiments that did not work at all, and I lost a lot of money, right? I worked with a company that tried to help me with Google Ads. We spent like almost 8K, 7,500, and had 500 in sales. And I had to cut that cord short after 2 months because I can't afford that. Like 7,500, 8,000 in like 2 months or like 3 months with like 500 sales. Oh, I kept saying like, oh, you have a small budget. No, I'm really sorry. That's not small. I'm not sitting on like pile of money I don't know what to do with. So I had to close that door and move on. And I don't do much Google Ads as well. I just focus on Amazon website, maybe kind of Fair, which is a B2B kind of website, and then retailers, building these kind of connections. And that's it.
But online is still the biggest part for you?
Amazon, actually. I would say Amazon. And that's why I'm always kind of grateful when people really kind of try to go, an order is just like a $24, 6 packs, and then just leave us a review, because we're really trying to build our profile there, because we all buy from Amazon, and the first thing we look at is reviews and rating, right? So that's always if somebody asks me, what can I help you with? I say, can you just please order some and then just leave us a review, and I'll be very grateful.
If you have in the beginning like $10 million, right? You think you will do more mistake, because if you build organically company, you don't have that much money to spend and waste of money, right? You think this is right way to build slowly and organically?
I think I like bootstrapping, because I feel like it's really, you kind of start small and then it kind of forces you to really kind of figure it out. Like I give you the example of like the cost of things, because you can find people who really kind of charge a lot of money, right? Like 5K to handle Amazon, 5K to handle TikTok, 10K to handle that. Yeah, if you are sitting on like a lot of money, don't know what to do with, you will be okay with all of this. But is that really what you need? And I think you have to ask yourself that question. And I think being kind of thoughtful and just meticulous and really trying to see what would be the best ROI in what you have, and just like thinking about the business. It's not, and it's something that I even used like personally. It's not about what I can afford. It's really kind of, does it worth the value, or do I have an alternative? And don't take the first one for granted. And one thing I learned, and I pay my dues for that, is almost never work with any company or consultant without references. Always ask. If the company is good enough, they will give you references in a very easy way. If they are not really sure, they will likely say, you know what, we're really confident in what our work and we don't need to give you references. But always ask, because I think I was burned definitely at least 3 times by just hiring people based on just somebody suggested someone, and I didn't actually ask them for references. So that would be, because again, people will always take money and then, and then may not actually deliver what they promise you to deliver.
Kellogg, let's back to Kellogg one more time. And what is your favorite part from that? Like maybe some, I don't know. Did you have international electives or?
No.
No, we have this in executive MBA. I had 3 trips. I was Lisbon, Hong Kong, Dubai, and Toronto, 4 actually. And it was like very, because people from around the world come and you like exchange networking. It was really cool. Like what for you? It's most rememberable part of Kellogg or some like moment.
I definitely had many of them, honestly. But if there is one thing I would say is actually people, students, because I went to Kellogg with one focus or one at least purpose in the beginning, which is study and learn, about business. This is a business school, so I was going in a very academic mindset, like similar to I went to like medicine or got my master's in clinical research. Yes, you're gonna meet, people and students in classes. Maybe some become friends, but that's okay, right? Like, but what I got out of Kellogg was way more than that. And the best thing was really all the network and the friends and the colleagues that I actually got to meet and have in my life after Kellogg was, I don't want to say way more valuable, but it really is, than the actual science and material and information and experiences, like, from how to do business. It's really the people, because I learned from my friends and colleagues way more than what actually the books would teach you. And I think that was a great and the biggest surprise for me, because I went for academic, but I left with people, or I left with both, I guess.
What you can recommend for our viewers? Like, what is your advice for them?
I think they teach you that at Kellogg as well, which is kind of have an open...
It's can be not just about Kellogg, maybe just about business or something. Like, what would you like to... Maybe someone looking, maybe I need to go to Kellogg. Someone look, maybe I want to start the business. Someone, maybe I need to change a job. Like, what is your, like, do you think that you need to deliver to young people who want something like change?
I think, regardless of like Kellogg or not, it's really kind of do what you love and love what you do. And I think, it's sometimes easier said than done. But if you haven't found it yet, keep looking and don't settle. Like, I think keep really thinking about what is it that really, drives you? What makes you happy? What would be fulfilling for you, right? I think it's a process, and you may not find it right away, but you just have to, think about it more. And I think, in the orientation, I remember at Kellogg, they always teach you it's never a straight line, right? It's always like a zigzag, and you just go and up and down, and you may need to pivot and go one direction and go back, and that's okay, and that will happen, right? Like, I think and there may be like opportunities will come your way. You have to learn to say no to some of them because they are not the right fit. Like, a lot of people talking to me about like food service, but I feel no, I will just focus on retail and maybe online with Amazon, and that's big enough, like, or just busy enough, So you have to learn really to say no as well, but you have to try to find that. And I think I actually will send you a link for. I love that Steve Jobs video. It's like 3 minutes or 2.5. But I almost, at one point in my life, I would listen to that video every single day. It reminds me with like, it's really one of the most inspirational videos I ever listened to. And then I listen a lot to Alan Watts, who's a philosopher. I love his work. But really that one, you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backward. So you have to believe in something. Life, karma, whatever. Because believing that the dots will connect down the road will lead you to the path that you're really trying to take. But you have to believe in that. You just have to. And again, do what you love and love what you do.
Did you have moments when you was like, I'm done? Or like, I can't do this anymore?
Yeah, I sometimes...
everyone
I did.
Everyone does that. But you need just to go through it.
You have to, yes. And I think, personally, I would say, I think, I mentioned to you, we did, the TV show, QVC, we sold out the first time. We went back the second time, and I think we didn't really sell as much as we wanted because I was stuck with like, thousands of dollars, almost like 40K worth of baklava that I'm just stuck with, and I didn't have the same sales I was hoping for. That's why, every single person who, really supported me meant a lot to me. But I was really stuck with like almost 40K, let's say, baklava. And then I got the TV show, and projection was like maybe 1,500 orders. I think we ended with like, I don't know, 500, 600. So it was not as much. So I couldn't move as much inventory as I wanted. They were getting closer to expiration dates, and I didn't know what to do with them. And, I had to question, okay, what am I doing this, And my family thought like, I'm going to finish the inventory I have and just call it a day. And then they were surprised that I have new packaging, expanded the products coming back. But now this time I'm ordering just enough to the point that like now pistachio baklava is one of our best sellers and we sold out. Like I don't have any more. So I'm waiting for more to come. Walnut, very close. Others are very close to be sold out. So I'm working on like lower inventory. So I definitely learned my mistake, right? But at one point I was like stuck with like so much product that I had no idea why I ordered all of this, but it was a mistake, and I paid for it, I learned it, and I just have to move on. And I'm glad that things are kind of, getting better for us, right? Like, met with Whole Food, now Meyer, Mariano's, like hopefully Kroger, Amazon is going and growing. And I think, but you just have to be patient and just, as much as you have a clear vision for really where you want and you get that kind of validation from people, I think you will go through it, you will get there, but you just have to believe yourself. If I lost my personal belief in the concept and really how people appreciate what they see, because when people meet us in the market, they say, oh my God, I never seen baklava this way. I always see it in like, this is kind of, and I said, yes, because we are really the first one in the market this way. And that, again, it validates that we are onto something, right? Like, but again, and that gives me more positive reinforcement that we are on the right path.
Yeah. And if you worry something not going your way, just believe. Yes. And move forward, because it's just only internet shows like how everything is perfect. Yeah, people, businessmen sitting on the beach drinking mojito and resting, right? But if you want to start from the small, you need to move forward. Yes. And you'll have problem. Without problem, it's impossible to build any business, right? Even small business is always difficult.
Yeah, and as you said, you have to accept the fact you're gonna make mistakes, and that's okay. And that's okay. That's part of it. That's part of the learning, right? Like, I don't remember, is it Edison when he was kind of, discovering
mistakes or errors. He's just learning.
Yes. It's not like, happen like this. You have to go through all that learning to really come to the success. And that's, so it's just a process. Like, accept the fact, be kind to yourself, self-reflect, set some rules, see what is working, what is not. And then, you just... But also your intuition, really kind of follow your intuition, because one of my favorite authors is Malcolm Gladwell. I love his books. The Tipping Point, Blink. And Blink talks a lot about like intuition. Blink, like I blink. And that intuition is just really kind of the cumulative experiences that you have from personal life, professional life, classes, discussions, people, podcasts, whatever. And that definitely kind of sits in your brain that help you in a millisecond really analyze information that come through to you, right? So really kind of, you have to trust that intuition as well. But also accept it could be right, could be wrong. That's okay. But actually your intuition is likely what you should follow.
Last thing, we talk about business, also about people who went to Kellogg, right? I have some people looking for a job, right? Looking for a job for a long period of time, and everyone probably think like, did I need that Kellogg because I have bills now to pay for school, and it was right decision, right? Someone for sure, like in one side you happy you graduated, but in another like you have a lot of debt and you like it was right decision. Then you have to believe, like you said, does it connected in the future? We can't see that now, but believe. And you will find your way, for sure, because that information which you get in Kellogg, that community, that knowledge, professors, one day you'll you'll be 100% sure you did the right decision.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, there is absolutely like nothing but fun memories, great experiences, an amazing, amazing network from professors to Kellogg, colleagues, classmates. Yeah, we'll do it again 100 times.
Let's try. I have to open and try
Yes,
because
please.
last time I eat probably when I was very young. I was with my family. We traveled to Black Sea in Ukraine, and we buy this on a. Oops. We went to the beach, right? And the people went and sell like. That's why probably last time I eat. I will share with cola, and let's try.
So this is the cashew one. Clean fingers, no sticky.
No stick at all.
Yeah. So you can feel the nuts, taste the nuts, you know, like very flaky, buttery. And again, you know, and I think the clean aspect of it make it really kind of perfect on the go because you can actually put it back in that sleeve and then, you know, you can put it back in your bag and then you can just finish it later. You can even, sometimes people actually cut it in halves and then put it on like a charcuterie board, you know.
Sorry, I didn't share with you.
Yeah. Say it again.
I didn't share.
No, it's okay. Trust me, I ate so much baklava, but so
It's
it's
really
good. And I think people, you know, always can taste it and change it. Really kind of enjoy the flavor and how clean it is.
Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate
Oh,
it. Happy to connect with you.
Thanks for.
And I'm
thanks for
100%
having me
sure
on.
a lot of in the future we can maybe do something together. Who knows?
Who knows? You never know.